Welcome to my crib.
I didn't tell her to say that, I swear. Hey, you want to try to hang on your bike right here? Don't fall off, though.
How did I do this before?
I don't know.
Hurry.
I mean, it's recording. Okay. Okay, you can get off. You're going to break that thing. I hear it creaking. Welcome back, everybody. And today, we have something really special. We have a...
We have a meeting.
What the fuck am I gonna say? Welcome back, everybody, to a very special video. Today, as promised, we are doing a van tour of my good friend Haley's brand new van. A little background before we get started on how Haley and I met. We actually both worked at Absolute Bikes in Salida at the same time. Haley was just getting into mountain biking, and I was just beginning to ride in Colorado for my first time. And well, we worked and rode a lot together, and we also were both kind of vagabonding it.
Yeah, it was all new to us.
Yeah, so we had, you know, pretty similar experience, and I feel like we've kind of been on a similar trajectory since then, with a goal of getting into vans and being able to have that extended freedom that comes with it. So this is all pretty exciting to both of us, and I'm just really stoked to be meeting up with her again and get to see how things have progressed in the past 2 years and share that with you guys. Because I think it's pretty inspiring, to be honest.
Super, yeah. It's like we've been paralleling, and now we've like come together and get to share it. It's cool.
So before we start on the van tour, can you tell us like a little bit about your backstory? Because I think it's really interesting. You're a lot younger than I am, and you've traveled so much.
Yeah, I'm originally from East Texas, middle of nowhere. But when I was 16, turned 16 out there, I was 15 when I started, I hiked the Appalachian Trail. And that, when you trace it back, that's kind of what started my realizing that you can live with less and living out of a backpack. And yeah, that just kind of started my trajectory. And then after that, I ended up traveling to Spain before going to college. And then once I was in college, I spent most of my summers, at least the last 3, living in Colorado. And first summer was to climb, and the last 3 were to bike and work at Absolute Bikes. That was one of the summers.
And you had actually already spent one season in Colorado before you and I met that summer in Salida.
Like half a season,
yeah.
Like 6 weeks.
Living out of
my old, what was it, 99, 98, I think, Jeep Cherokee, black, like super ratty. Yeah, I did that, and the next summer I had a 4Runner, which I thought was like
big upgrade.
Big upgrade, and I built like a shelf and like a sleeping platform and stuff, and I thought that was an upgrade, which brings me to now with the van, which is like the Taj Mahal.
The coup de grace.
Yeah, exactly. Even though I had done, you know, a lot of like long distance hiking, which was like a whole other end of the spectrum, like I knew I could live with little and stuff, and had lived out of a vehicle before and everything, it's still, once you go to this point of where it's an actual more of a commitment though, like a lifestyle change rather than just like, oh, I'm doing it for a trip. And that is different, and that is a turning point. And so yeah, so talking about paralleling, me and Alex are kind of doing the same thing, and I texted him like, I don't know if I should do it, I don't know if I should commit to living in my van for like or my 4Runner for like a full, 4 months during my summer and everything.
Yeah, you were doubting whether you could do it. I was like, what?
Yeah, exactly. If it was worth it, yeah, but you just do it and you figure it out, and it is. So
how did you go from living in a 4Runner to living in this van?
So my first winter out of college, I knew that winter needed to be the winter that I went ahead and did the van, so I was ready for the next season to really, really be able to live like this and live comfortably and have it be sustainable, not live in a 4Runner. So yeah, went through, do you get the, white old Chevy Astro van on Craigslist, or do I go ahead and invest in this and something like this?
And you pretty much landed on the same conclusion I did.
Right. Go ahead and invest. So yeah, found this guy actually all the way up in New York, Rockefeller Center in New York.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
What?
Yeah, my license plate, the little frame thing is Rockefeller. Yeah, because, okay, so this is really Gucci and over the top, but this is 4-wheel drive. So
yeah, she has a very badass
that we went
van.
Full investment. We went from like, I just want a $2,000 van to let's get the big thing.
So these are the comments that I get from everybody, and it's always the same thing. So first question is, why do you live in a van? Like, why'd you want to do this anyway?
I kind of went straight into this pretty much out of college, I would say. So it's kind of just been what I know, I feel like, honestly. I mean, as an adult, but I do it because, mountain biking for me. I want to go a lot of places, and I want to be free to do that. And for me, this is the medium to do that.
Yeah.
And
How long do you see yourself doing it?
Ooh, a long time. I mean, next 5 years for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. For me, some people live out of a van, like to live out of a van and travel and just to see things. That's
Some people do it to save money.
Yeah, it came down to I couldn't imagine paying like rent to stay somewhere when I want to go so many places, or when I'd rather have the money go to a race or whatever. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm not good at commitment either. I'm in the van. I think so.
I think that's probably a motif of all van lifers.
I'm like, I just don't know how to commit to anything else. But like, even though I said like I hiked the Appalachian Trail and stuff, and I kind of learned about how to live out of a backpack and live with less when I was younger, I wasn't just automatically like, I love backpacking and I love nature. I wasn't like that at all. I went through a phase where like I didn't want to do that at all. Like a good 2 years, I just wanted to like not be normal, but that was not a priority at all. I didn't identify. That was not part of my identity at all. And then, based on where I'm from, like I shouldn't even know how to ride a bike.
Yeah, you're a flatlander,
right?
Just like me.
I should like be riding 4-wheelers and like hunting, and this is hunting season right now.
Maybe we should have you do the whole interview in your East Texas accent.
Play family football. That's what I should be hearing about. But yeah. So I think as I've gotten older, I've kind of like realized that like I just love what this community, the people I've met that have inspired me along the way. Like,
yeah, you've talked a lot about that.
I didn't do it consistently. Like I did the 400, then I'd go back home to college, and I'd go back out and I'd do it, and I'd go to school. I was in and out of it, but it's the key people I met that kept me. I saw that, and I shared that, and I loved that energy, and that's definitely part of what kept me hungry for more. And I just feel so lucky, and it's so bizarre that I'm doing this again based on like where I'm from, and just like what the norm I guess should be for me.
What you think the norm should be, what you think's expected of you.
Just the normal life that everyone thinks, not everyone, but that kind of comes after college, you know?
Right, the linear path.
Yeah, that makes, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Nah.
At all.
So next question I've got for you is, and this is one that comes up all the time with me, how do you afford this? Because there's an assumption that it's, people living in the van life are like trust fund babies, or you like won a jackpot, you won the lottery or something like. And the reality for the majority of people that are traveling and living on the road is discipline and hard work and ingenuity.
Right.
So how do you make it work?
Okay, so currently how I afford it, I go back home to Texas, to East Texas, do a complete 180 and go work there. I'm lucky to have the setup where I can go back for 2 months or I can go back for 6 months, depending. Kind of been doing the minimum right now, honestly, to stay out here as much as possible. And yeah, and it's no one, I haven't met anyone else that's doing it like that. Yeah,
you have a pretty like polarized life. You go from periods of extreme freedom and fun to a few months of extreme manual labor.
Yeah.
And just saving up as much money as you can so you can get back to the other life.
Like getting up 4 a.m., getting back home by 10, and not being able to ride your bike.
Right.
Honestly.
That's the worst. So that's how you're making money, but then how do you, like on the road, how do you make that money last?
I don't, my treat is Chipotle, like once a week, maybe. Honestly, I don't really think about it because it's like, how do you
basically just
I don't have room
work
to buy new clothes.
Right.
I don't have room to buy anything. And again, mountain biking drives a lot of that because it's like, well, if I buy this, I can't buy that for my bike. And that's why I'm doing this.
Like, I need new tires, not a new jacket.
Then, I think a lot of people talk about food, and it's like, that's one thing where I kind of beat myself up about a lot. I'm like, well, you need to spend less on food. You need to only eat rice and beans. And
food's the one thing I don't ever cut myself. Like, I buy as much food as I need and as good a food as I want.
So, yeah, I feel like a lot of people, the point of contention is the food, saving money on food. But it's like, you need to eat well.
I think a lot of people waste a lot of money on gas because they are approaching it as a trip, whereas you and I might find a place that we really like for a month and then stay there, because the objective is to be in a place you love that has really good riding and good people. And if we find that, we're not trying to just pop in and out for 2 days, because gas is hands down the most expensive thing, that the largest expenditure each month for me.
But that's another thing where it's like, how much do you really not beat yourself up? How much do you really concentrate on that? Because You're living in a vehicle. That's your expense. You're not paying for electricity, but you're paying for gas.
Right.
Or you're not paying for running water, you're paying for gas. So
what would you say to someone that says they can't afford to try to live the lifestyle that they want?
it's just a matter of, are you committing to it? Is it worth it? Is that what you're going to sacrifice for?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, because neither one of us believe that it's not like we feel like this is the best way to be for everyone. It's hard as hell.
No, I have a freak
and it's
out, like,
definitely
every
not
other
for
day.
everyone.
Yeah, no, gee. And I don't know if I'm one to touch on this because I didn't have to sell a house to do it. I didn't have to cancel my lease on my apartment to do it. You know, to be able to afford it, I jumped right into it. But that being said, I think some people have more to sacrifice going into it than others. So I think
more to lose.
More to lose. So I think it's a case-by-case basis.
Yeah. Definitely easier to get into when you're younger with less commitment.
Exactly.
For sure.
The more I do this, I might realize I'm missing out on some stuff I want.
The opportunity cost.
Opportunity cost, but that's, for me, it's going to be as time goes on, not kind of starting out, I would say.
Couple more questions. Hot round. These ones are a lot easier. What do you do about the bathroom? What do you do about shower?
Bathroom, you figure it out. You're like, I mean, I don't want to say animal instincts, that sounds kind of like gross, but honestly, you figure it out. Like, that's the biggest thing. But you figure it out. And then showers, I mean, I've called public pools. Hey, do you have a shower? How much is it? Okay, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Or a gym.
So you don't have a shower in your van?
No.
And you don't have a bathroom set up in your van?
No.
And yet you make it work?
Oh, yeah.
Or find the YMCA or whatever and tell your friend about it, and then he doesn't even go use it.
Yeah, that's that guy behind the camera.
Next question. What are your top three your favorite places that your van has taken you?
Canada. Everywhere in Canada.
all three spots, Canada.
Squamish, Whistler, Pemberton, in that order.
Boom. What are the top three toughest things about living in a van that no one thinks about?
Believe it or not, the lack of monotony gets to you.
The lack of structure.
Lack of structure.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot.
And then the third thing that no one would think.
Well, can you tell us a story about your mouse?
Yeah, when you get mice in your van. Can I cuss? I can't cuss.
Yeah, you can cuss.
I can cuss? Yeah, little motherfucker. Okay, when you get a mouse in your van and he wakes you up 2 nights in a row at 3 a.m. and the first time you're convinced it's not a mouse, and the next night you make eye contact with him and you stay up for 2 hours trying to trap him, that's a downfall. Okay, so that's like a rare occurrence, but I would say like a general thing, like just stupid day-to-day things. Like, it's kind of like always gonna be a little dirty. It's always gonna be kind of a pain to clean your dishes. Like, little stuff like that is it's just a little bit harder. Just a little bit to get over every day.
So let's start talking a little bit about your van and your build.
Okay, so I had a friend that was a carpenter start to help me, but he ended up falling through, so I went through a few different people helping me do it. Finally, called the parents, hey, I need help. Do y'all have anyone that, like, you know of that does carpentry and can help me? And they did. So, went home, and we literally just busted it out in like 2.5 weeks and got it all done. And
this took you only 2.5 weeks?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so now we're going to get into the fun stuff, the van tour.
Yeah.
So let's start with what type of van you got.
So it's a 2017 Sprinter 4x4, and it's actually the low or standard roof, not the high roof, because I can stand actually fully in the low
But no one
roof.
else can.
But no one else can. It's me size. It's fun size. Got a North Shore rack. I only have the dirt jumper on here right now. I'm gonna sell it, and for shuttling, awesome. For long-term van life, don't get a North Shore. Or if your bike's on there a lot, don't get a North Shore.
I really like how your van looks used. It's not. Haliegh considered cleaning her van for this. I told her not to because it looks way more legit with all the dirt. And what solar panels do you have on top? I actually already grabbed a couple clips of those.
They're Renogy, and I have 2 100-watt panels, and they're mounted into the crossbars.
All right, so let's show us around the inside.
Welcome to my crew. I really want to do this. Like, what's up, y'all? Anyway, so
I think the first thing most of you guys are gonna notice is that her van, I feel like, is I mean, she has a granite countertop right here. So like, I think that's yeah. Well, what did I say earlier? I said it's refined yet functional.
simple yet refined.
Simple yet refined.
So I decided to do the sink.
I do not have a sink.
Got a sink.
And you love it.
I love having a sink. I actually want a bigger sink. And then I have I would highly recommend, it's a little foot pump. A lot of people do the electric pump, which is great, but it's more wiring, more energy. And more importantly, I think you use more water. You
Right.
save water more pumping with your foot. So yeah, it actually just looks like that little guy right there.
So she's got a
Super
pump
simple.
down here, and it just connects. This is clean
Clean
water,
that's
and then
gray
it drains
water.
into the gray water here, and that's
So
it. It's just super simple.
Super simple.
And then
Yeah.
you've got some cleaning supplies there.
Cleaning supply, yeah, extra bag, wash rags, little broom. And you actually get pretty decent, and it's self-primed, so it's actually pretty decent pressure coming out of there.
That's pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. That's luxurious.
Yeah, and I can't believe more people don't, like, a lot of times it's either the little electric pump or like a hand pump, but that's so much better because you can have both hands.
I'm gonna quick show everyone how I can't quite stand up in here.
Can you stand? You can't even stand in the, a little bit.
Not quite.
In the windows.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Two.
if I have a bun on the top of my head, I can't stand in here. If I have a high pony, I gotta stand right here.
So she has some cool hooks here at the entry. Like hooks
Hooks
are the best.
awesome. That is like the simplest way to store stuff and like add storage is hooks because you can put anything on a hook. Yeah, so those. And yeah, it's my fridge. Dometic 50 liter. And yeah.
Do you
and
like it?
Yeah, I love it.
Having fresh food is amazing.
It doubles as a bench.
And can you tell us about these? What's going on here?
Those are my 4x6s.
Haley is a little gangsta. So she has not one, but two.
I need to upgrade them though, because I kind of like have blown them out. But the wiring's there, so the sky's the limit. And then behind the fridge, I have my inverter.
So this is your electronics area.
This is all my electronics, super simple. So that's just inverter. I mounted it on the wall, and that's the little charge controller. And yeah, it runs up through here to the solar panels in there. And then behind the cabinet to my battery is right here, and that's secured to the floor.
Okay.
And yeah, my fridge plugs into the inverter, and then I just have one outlet with 2 USBs and 2 normal plugs.
All of your power comes from your solar, right?
All of it.
So another thing you guys will notice is that Haley, and I don't know who did it first, but one thing that we do have in common in our vans is our bench, our workbench, our main tabletop space is actually just their workbenches. So you have a Cobalt one, and it's pretty cool. You've attached a big piece of.
It's like kind of like it's not plexiglass, but it's just like plexiglass.
Pretty
Installed
cool.
that on top.
Got a bungee to keep it all shut, because just like me, your key snapped off in there too. So this is something that I don't have. I don't have any cabinets yet.
Yeah, my clothes storage didn't do cabinet doors because just keeping it simple, wanted more headroom.
What type of wood is all this, by the way?
White pine, like the cheapest, like wood.
It looks really good.
It didn't look as nice, but then I put polyurethane, sand it, polyurethane, sand it, every board.
Wow.
Every board, like 4 coats. It was time consuming, and you'll see like sometimes there's like little dog hair stuck in it from my dogs, and
I know.
and like mosquitoes stuck in the poly. Yeah, it's kind of anyway.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
I
move
think
towards the
it's
back of the van, where all the fun is.
So
AKA the DH bike inside.
yeah, bike storage is not dialed right now, but it's gonna be. I have another kind of the same design, just a little bit deeper on this side. Yeah, and then I just have this
A lot more
whole
hooks.
helmet, bag, goggles, backpacks, jackets, everything can go on there.
One thing, speaking of making things homey in here, I really like all of these lights that Haley has put up, these Christmas lights. It actually makes it feel really, it like adds a good vibe to it in here.
Yeah, they're nice. Anyway, yeah, and my bed.
I've been excited. I haven't even seen how this works yet.
Oh, it's a little bit of a deal.
So she's got a couch bed conversion.
Yeah, so it's on slats. So yeah, and this is just I have 4-inch like upholstery couch foam, and then like 2-inch memory foam on top of that. And I got these covers custom done by a family friend. You want me to do the full bed?
Oh yeah. Can you do it with the bike right there?
Yeah, I might not pull it out all the way. So go ahead and move stuff. And when I sleep, when it's just me and I don't want a big bed, I just sleep like this and literally just put that cushion there. Yeah. I guess I didn't need to do that. You cut that part out. Cut that part out. I don't pull it out often. Oh, that's what he said. So yeah, so that's as far as it's going with the DH bike.
Gotcha.
It doesn't go, it goes like maybe 5 more inches out.
And then you take this other cushion and
this
you
other
lay it
cushion.
down over there.
Yeah, and it fits right in there. Yes, that's that. And it's just 2x4 the legs, but then we put the like wood on top to make everything match when it's all closed up, and it just shows right in there.
Cool.
how
That's
that
a pretty
is.
cool design.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
okay.
underneath is like your main storage, right?
Yeah.
Down here.
Yeah, just shoes, riding shoes, some tools, more shoes, tires, goggles. It's not super organized, but
Ah, storage.
Storage, yeah. This is just a window cover for the front. These are my homemade flowery ones for the back.
Nice.
Got
Oh, cool.
that'll go up there. Yeah, and then I shoved, this is for the side. I just shoved those back there.
One thing that I definitely am going to be adding to my van after seeing Halieg's van are actually these rugs. Actually, you know, what type of flooring is this that you have?
So this is just the wood look you see.
Is that vinyl?
It's just the vinyl, and it's not even the it's like the rubbery kind. It just clicks in.
Right.
And you glue it down with the vinyl glue. So and then we added the like metal trim.
Yeah. And with it being winter, it gets really cold at night, and stepping on the floor, even when the floor is insulated, it's freezing. So having rugs helps that a lot, I've noticed in Halieg's van. Yes, and it makes it feel more homey. So just gonna show off the cockpit a little bit here. So hey, I asked you this off camera, but everyone else is gonna want to know why the Mercedes Sprinter.
Because it's the creme de la creme. No, it's the best. Yeah, the resale value is a big deal, and that was a big thing with four-wheel drive too. Other than it being nice to have the resale value.
So only one of your seats swivels.
Yeah,
both of mine do, but you only did the passenger, right?
I only did the passenger.
Okay, so we've already talked about your bathroom and shower, and another thing that people are gonna want to know is, what do you do about cooking in here? What do you do for meals?
Yeah, so mine is, I do a lot of oatmeal and beans and rice, actually, like I said. Super, like one pot meals. Super simple. That was actually a thing that I like pondered a lot, and it really shouldn't be that complicated of a thing when I started. But I decided to just go super, super simple.
Oh, you went real simple. Backpack setup.
That's like all I have.
But these are great. I have one of these for
they're
backpacking.
Great. And again, I like having the counter here because I literally put it on the edge and it goes out.
Yep.
And then boom. Yeah, that's it.
I actually have that exact same setup for backpacking. What is your knick-knack wall?
So somebody told me this is like a very grandma-y thing of me to do, but I found like this guy in Terlingua, Texas, actually, a card somebody gave me, or my really, really good friend gave me. It says, "You're pretty fucking awesome, that is all." A coin from Canada, Pinocchio from Rome. He's a little magnet, a random 9 of diamonds that I found on a mountain bike ride, a couple of notes to myself. This is a note that somebody left on my windshield saying their number and come stay at my house if you need a place to shower and park randomly to Trailhead. A little note from my mom. Yeah, so I've just kind of...
Alright, cool. I'm glad I brought that up, because that's rad.
Which fun, because I've watched so many of these videos, and now I'm one of them.
Come to the dark side, Haliegh.
I'm a van lifer. Damn.
Put a van life tour on the internet.
I would never hashtag van life. Damn it.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for the van tour. Thank you for hanging out with us today, and enjoy...
He's new.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for the van tour. I hope you enjoyed this one, because I really did. Haliegh, thank you for sharing the tour with us and showing us around your new abode.
My pleasure.
If you want to see more of Haliegh and keep up with her travels on the road, living out of the van and mountain biking, I'm going to put her Instagram right here in the video, and also a link to it in the description, so definitely check that out. Definitely super stoked on your van, and stoked to meet up with you on the road again in the future and do more riding, because it was great to get to see you again after 2 years. It's been way too long. Yeah, not gonna let it be that long again.
No.
Hopefully. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Do that to keep up with my future travels. And if you want to see a tour of my van, I will link it right here in the video and also in the description. If you've done all those, I will see you guys again very, very soon. And until then, you know what to do. Live free, ride hard, and get stoked.
Woo!
That's your sticker spot, then that's where it's gotta go. Oh yeah.
Boom.
Boom. Now I'm a part of your van. All right, so the last question everyone's gonna wanna ask is, dun dun dun, how much did this cost you?
So the build itself cost me $5 to $6 grand, I would say. The inside, once I got the van.
Like best estimate?
Best estimate. The most expensive things being the electrical.
Battery, fridge, solar.
Battery, fridge, and solar being the most expensive thing.
Sounds about right. I think that's less than I would have expected, given how nice your wood and all that looks.
But it looks nicer than it is, to be honest. It's just white pine panels. And then I was lucky enough, to have family help me build it.
Right,
right. So that.
Labor. Yep, I saved on that a ton too. Yep.
And the tool chest, I guess, was a big purchase. That was
$600,
bulky. I believe.
Word. That's quite affordable once you get over the
Once you get
Mercedes.
over the Mercedes van, it's downhill from there.
Adios, amigo.
Bye.
Bye. Drive safe.